It is so important for people to register to vote and then to be involved in the process. Every 2 years we have our congressional elections, and that is when people need to weigh in. Votes, elections have consequences, and what you want is someone who's going to listen to you and then represent your views before the U.S. House of Representatives. And the first step is getting people registered to vote, and then going through the education process so that people know. I'm a Republican, and so many times people will say, well, Republicans are the party of no. And I like to finally say, I think that it's important to be the party of KNOW. And we should all be people of KNOW, of no. Making certain that our friends, our family, our relatives, our colleagues are informed on the issues, and that they remember when Election Day is, and that they have to show up.
The answer is simple. If you don't vote, you don't have a voice. In fact, you're turning over your voice to what may be your worst enemy. Somebody who hates real estate, somebody who hates realtors. So why do that? So it's really important to take the time to register, to know where you vote, where your polling place is, and then to cast your ballot. In the most recent Nashville election, we had 2 very important elections, one for state senate, one for the city of Lakewood. Both were determined by less than 2 votes. That's crazy. That means if anybody had bothered to show up, they could have swung the whole election. So it's really important that we hear your voice. When you're a voter, you're making the hiring decision. You're choosing whether to hire a public official or not. And your voice may not be determinative. In many elections, there are thousands and thousands of votes cast. But you never know in advance. Your voice could be the one that makes the hiring or the firing decision. So why not let your voice be heard? There are millions of people all over the world who sacrifice everything they've got, sometimes even including their lives, just to have the chance to vote. And here we throw it away. Don't be one of those who throws it away.
One of the most encouraging signs I see is the way people are beginning to actually reach out and contact their legislators. We have listening sessions, not town halls this year, but we've had listening sessions where I just go in and listen to people talk. And it's incredible to me how repeatedly these turn out to be standing room only crowds. And that is such a source of encouragement. That is where some of the very best ideas come from. Things people want to see done, approaches that they want to be made, how they weigh in on healthcare, financial regulatory reform, cap and trade. We get great ideas, and so indeed, great ideas are going to start with the people, because this is a government of, by, and for the people. So you need to show up and bring a lot of great ideas with you. That is how our freedom works.
I try to listen to all of my constituents. I have like 700,000 of them, so that's a lot of folks. But it's amazing how many folks never contact you, never write you a handwritten personal letter. So when folks do that, when they call you up, and my home number is still listed, it's always been, when they do write you a letter, when they stop by the office, I want them to know that, first of all, it's their office, it's not mine. I'm just the temporary person in that office. And it's very important they recognize that this is their country. It's not only their office they're visiting, it's their country. So I want to know their life experience. I want to know what upsets them, what makes them happy, what issues they're concerned about. And unless they let me know, and it doesn't have to be done in public, it can be done in a private meeting, unless they let me know their real concerns, I'm not going to do a very good job for them. Because it's like a doctor. If you go into the doctor and you don't tell him where it hurts, he or she is not going to be able to make a good diagnosis. What I try to do as a congressman is make a good diagnosis. Where is our country hurting? Where are our people hurting? And I want folks to let me know where they feel pain and where it's working for them. So I need to hear from everybody, and I hope they'll talk and let me know what their concerns are.
We do hear from lots of people, lots of different groups, lots of individuals that work in so many different industries. And one of the exciting things about Tennessee is how diverse our economy is. Realtors, I'll have to say, are a big part of the groups that we hear from, and I like that because it's important that they weigh in. Realtors and builders and all of the associated industries that go with that. It's such an enormous issue. Such an enormous engine of our economy. How exciting it is to hear the good ideas that come from realtors and from home builders on how to approach the issues that are affecting them, whether it is issues for our nation's energy or whether it is broadband telecommunications, new concepts that are coming on board that allow realtors to be more effective, and the interface that we have in that from the federal side, as our job should be, and I hope will be, continuing to create the right environment for jobs growth to take place.
I love realtors. Why? Realtors are really in touch with community. They've got to be to survive. You won't last long as a realtor unless you really have your finger on the pulse. And that's why I love realtors. They know what's going on. They talk to people. They have a real sense for other people and what's happening in the marketplace, what's happening with really a family's most prized possession, which is their home, the business's most prized possession, which is their office location. So realtors are, as a result, probably the most connected, probably the most powerful single group in America. They have probably the loudest voice in Washington, D.C. And I think that's good, because with some other businesses, some office-based folks, they don't have to work on commission. They don't have to hustle. They don't have to get the job done. Realtors have to get the job done. That commission basis of payment that most realtors operate on is incredibly powerful. Now, it's tough when times are hard. It's tough when the market's weak, but it gives everybody an incentive to do a great job, and most realtors do a great job. So I love listening to realtors, and I'm proud that they have one of the loudest, if not the loudest, voices in Washington.